Arsenal won, Man City won. Disappointing. That's just the truth of it. Disappointing. And Mikel, I'm directing this to you. The lineup was uninspiring. It's a lineup I understand away from home. I understand away from home in the big games, certain type of games. Cool. Even a game like Newcastle away next week, I would understand it. I wouldn't like it at all, but I would understand it. But at home, that midfield three is not a three that we shouldn't be seeing at all. And obviously with Trossard starting, understandably given the week he's had, but again, uninspiring. But I'm going to get into all of this. I'm going to get into Martinelli's magical goal, magical moment. Eze playing in that 10. If you're new returning and you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I'm on the road to 2,000 subs. Smash the like button down below. But let's just get into it. The lineup comes out and you see Merino starting again, which is something I kind of, in my preview when I was talking on Waffledon's show, go subscribe to Waffledon. Me and him have a weekly show. Great Arsenal fan. Great channel as well. And I was telling him that I feel like Merino's going to start. I feel like Mikel's going to do it because of the big game. Like, I would understand the concept behind it, but I wouldn't be inspired by it because I feel like City are a team that you can, as much as you can go for that punch per punch physical kind of nature to try and beat them, you also can play football through them. We saw that in the example we put in the 5-1 last year. We've seen it many times in certain games that team has played. Obviously you want to press up high and put City under pressure, but in terms of actually playing ball, that's what could be done. So I blame Mikel for the lineup, and in the end the first half played out as it was. That's the kind of lineup that you play where you're trying to play the percentages. I think James from the Universe said it well. You're playing the percentages game. You're trying to, you know what I'm saying, like narrow the amount of chances City are going to get by having more of a physical defensive nature. You're trying to basically increase your ability to win the game in different ways, whether that's from throw-ins, free kicks, long balls and stuff, and crosses and all this kind of stuff, and put City under pressure in that way. But it only works if you don't concede the first goal. The minute you concede the first goal, which is a possibility when you're facing a good team that has probably arguably the best striker in the world outside of Kane or maybe Isak, and you give him space and time, obviously not at 100% Saliba running back an opportunity, they can punish you. And once they punish you, you have to realise and concede that it was wrong. And I think obviously his halftime changes, bringing on Eze and Saka, is an admittance of that. But in his press conference when he's saying, no one questioned me against Bilbao when I played that same midfield three, well, one, people did, just that we won, so it wasn't a focus. And two, just because no one necessarily brought it up doesn't mean that it wasn't a conversation or still something that was an issue. So I don't like that. That's given me that upset me and pissed me off because I'm a Mikel fan. I still am. I still believe that he can be the one to take us there. But this was a bad game for Mikel for many moments, and I'll get to the positives at the end. I just wanted to nail on that. And the first half was bad. We conceded the goal, wasn't really playing football, and it's not just to highlight Mikel Merino because I think obviously he was poor today, but I think he wasn't the only one. I think the midfield three, I think Zubimendi was okay trying the things, but it was uninspiring. I don't think Rice had a good game. I don't think this was a game for him in terms of where you need that inventiveness and spark and that extra something. Je ne sais quoi doesn't have it, or doesn't have it in the attacking sense. And I think creatively, as I said last year many times, yes, we needed attackers, we needed a striker, and my judgment on Gyökeres, as I'll get to him when I get to him, is still hard to give. But the creativity in this team is a problem, and I don't know if it derives from the manager because I've seen us play great football, open, expansive football a lot of times, but it starts from the manager when you're starting lineups like that and you have a lot of creative players on the bench. Last year was fine. We had a lot of injuries. We didn't have squad depth. So you say cool, but this year that's not an excuse. If Man City starting that game when Pep's in the lineup, when the players in the lineup and they're seeing no Eze, no creative kind of player, Eze Wanyeri in the middle, no Martinelli or anything off the left. Obviously, yes, Trossard is a good player, but he doesn't offer like the threats. It pays him behind, real skill and threat that is going to threaten them. So it's like Madueke is really the only threat. Gyökeres, back to goal, he's not doing it. And Merino, so it's like there's no creativity. And the minute he scored the first goal, obviously I was trying to say make a sub right now. I know he's not going to do it. And credit to the team, they've done well to stay in, to nullify City. And we nullified City. I think it's half and half. I think City realised throughout the game, Pep realised, okay, Arsenal not really breaking us down. Let me kind of take what I have, part of the bus, because they're a good team. And if I try and go expansive, they definitely will come back into this game and win. But they're also not showing us anything that's going to make me have to threaten myself to want to continue playing out, because in this settled state of game, we have control of it. Similar to how we went, and obviously different context because that was 10 man and it was 11 man. Obviously, I'm pretty sure if it was 11 on 11, we still would have pressed high, wouldn't go into that low block, etc., etc., etc. We did have the lead to protect. But we forced City into a more defensive shape because we were dominating the ball, we were putting pressure. The emphasis was on us. But again, the emphasis was on us, home team, losing 1-0 to go and take the game to them. And maybe it's an expectancy for Pep Guardiola to set up his team to come out expansive, so people are kind of wow. But at the end of the day, City are not the same team as they have always been. So if Pep is developing new ways to try and get a result, I respect it. As much as his team and players have criticised that style specifically, I respect it. But yes, Arsenal forced them into that. But at the end of the day, City were in a game state that they were comfortable in, and it took a 93rd minute equaliser to where we really saw a good chance of goal, which was still hard and difficult to finish. So at the end of the day, did we really force City into their lowest possession and stuff? And yes, credit to Mikel and the team for doing that and dominating City. That's not an easy thing to do, but we didn't threaten them. So dominating them and on the ball and possession and territory is nothing when you don't threaten them. Donnarumma was comfortable, made a couple saves. First half was poor. Marino just was uninspiring. His passing, turning back a lot. Rice, a similar thing. Gokeres, the ball wasn't holding up, but till again wasn't really finding him. Madueke was trying on his side, but wasn't really doing anything. Trossard was playing more of a free-run role where he was kind of drifting inside, whilst Calafrio was providing him width. If that was the case, then that's a perfect role for Eze, even different to how he's played for the first 2 games. So I didn't understand that either. Not cool. As much as he wants to be stubborn in the press conference and say, I didn't start the midfield, you clearly saw that you needed to change something, and you changed it. And he put Eze into the 10, he put Saka on, which is lovely to see Bukayo Saka back. You can see the level difference between him and Madueke, and it's not that, because Madueke will take on his man a bit more, but Saka's decision making is amazing. But putting Eze in the 10 is that first instance of, and I think he put him on the right 10 next to Saka, so there was a bit more of a relationship development, which was good. I didn't mind that, and I think we were better in the second half, but still, no real chance creation. I think there was a chance from Eze from across that Zubimendi headed back to him that Donnarumma saved. There was a couple of crosses that flashed across the box. I don't really remember any other chance apart from that Martinelli goal. And I credit Mikel. I'll give him credit there. He got it wrong in the lineup, so he's changed up at half time quickly, because Mikel is known to be a guy that give it 55 65 minutes before he makes a change. So he changed it straight away. Cool. Obviously, apparently Madueke had a knock, so that's more the reason why he came off. Maybe he might have taken off Trossard, put Madueke on the left and kept Saka, who knows, but whatever. Cool. Lineup, we could see Eze through the middle. There's a bit more creativity, a bit more emphasis. He stays within the block. In the first half, all the players were coming out the block and we were just playing round and round and round. And then Eze stays in the block, and now we can play through the lines and we can start try things. But then it was a struggle, because you kind of use Gokeres. That's not his game, and he's not good enough back to goal. He's better, and you can see improvements, but the ball don't stick with him. I think he's learning how to use his body well, but the ball he should be able to we should be able to pass him, and just be a wall pass, a flick around the corner, like how Giroud was. You pin a defender, you flick it around, you twos him, you spin. Like, he's not doing all that stuff. Then obviously with the crosses, he was a bit late to the ball, but we got to do better to find Gokeres, because we know what he is. He's the entity that is known. It's not like he has other parts of his game that can, depending on the game, can change up. No, this is who Gokeres is. So we got to adapt to that. But we tried in the second half, but it wasn't good enough. But I want to shout out Martinelli again, coming off the bench. And I like that. And it's 2 goals from that central area. Mikel, he's not a touchline winger. And I think now more than ever, I think after this game, what I want is use players in their more natural position, in where they can really affect the game, both going forward and back, and not where it's more suited to the system and not that particular player's characteristics or traits. Martinez in that centre makes a lovely one, kind of comes from an offside position, realises Eze on the ball, and then says fuck it. You see, I've seen Martin. I think against Liverpool I was complaining that he didn't make a run, but then it's like, look who he's playing with. The midfield 3 that don't play the ball forward. I saw how many times the crowd, I think there was one point the crowd got into Mikel Merino and he had to put his hand up. There's a ball forward. Play it. If it goes out of play, it goes out of play. But bro, turning backwards to always try and control, keep the ball, it's nothing, especially when you're losing. Like, when you're winning, I could allow it, even though I don't really want it. But when you're losing, there should be all the intent in the world to go forward and get a goal. So Eze goes on, and that's a lovely pick from him. Lovely ball, weight of pass, right over, picks it over. Martinelli again, first touch, gets it right. Donnarumma was off his line. I don't know if he thought the ball from Eze was going to be a bit overhit to come off, but he was off his line. But he kind of stayed off his line, and then that was the only way Martinelli was going to finish and get the ball over him and actually score. And he done it. and 2 goals in two lovely goals from good runs and good finds, clutch goals as well. And shout out to him, man. He's not sulking on the bench after getting dropped. He's not doing anything, and he's coming on and impacting the game. And I would argue I would start him against Newcastle in that type of in that rough game where Newcastle haven't really scored goals. I don't think they're the best. I think that little pace in behind and maybe putting Eze in the middle might be a thing to do. But yeah, man. Shout out to, obviously, I think Timber done okay against Doku, even though he got the yellow card. Wasn't necessarily going forward, but I think the defense, Saliba and Gabriel's probably worst game. I think Haaland handled them well. Other stuff that came on, I think Ethan was bright when he came on. Didn't do much. I think he should have come on earlier. I think Martinelli should have come on earlier as well. And obviously Mosquera came on at the end, which I think was very uninspiring sub when I saw it, because it's like bringing on a defender at the end. Obviously, even though I don't know who he took off. I think he took off Zubamendi. So it was like, obviously, maybe at that point you don't want to concede, but it's like, nah. So Mikel, this one's on you. It's a poor lineup, and obviously good reaction, and I can put you on it. The 2 subs got an assist and the goal to get the point. But I didn't like the fact that we're celebrating the one. If I let Martinelli get his moment, get back, there's a couple minutes left. It's similar to that Bournemouth 3-3 when, was it Giroud or something, was celebrating, and then you could see Sanchez's face was sick. Go get the goal and go try win that game. Because now, like, after the euphoria of that goal went as soon as the 90-minute whistle went, because it was like... So yeah, this is just my review. I'm just disappointed. Again, obviously, I think City was there for the taking, as they have been, and we didn't do that. And I think they will probably come out a bit more disappointed that they were in a position to win the game. I'm disappointed as fans that we didn't win the game. And I'm pretty sure Mikel said the right thing. He said that there was 2 points drops and stuff, but it's uninspiring. And a lot of fans now are left questioning, like, if, not even just because obviously, but some fans don't think they want to manage, but it's the football, man. Mikel, you got all the tools now. There's no excuse. At the end of the day, you don't judge a manager off one game, but how he reacts now for the next couple of games, and obviously minus Port Vale, who knows going to be a rotated squad, is going to be key, because I can't lie to you. You have the tools now to try and create a system, create a style that can be more attacking and more expansive. And if you don't do it, everyone's going to look at you and only you, because now there's no excuse. And I'm disappointed on this one. Mikel, you got to hold that one. I don't want to hear press conference like that again. And yeah, man, we move Port Vale on Wednesday, I believe it is, and then we got Newcastle, I believe it was on Sunday again at St James's Park, which would be a tough one, but we need to win, which is one of my need to wins that I said before the season started. So yeah, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can tell I'm disappointed. You can tell that I'm annoyed because I want to beat City, but playing like that, especially you're wasting a whole 45 minutes, is nonsense. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Speak soon.